Well, hello. I hope everybody's here. I want to thank Perez for coming here. Thanks so very much. I am incredibly a huge fan of yours.
Oh.
So thanks for very much for coming here. Please. Oh, I can't believe you're here. So thank you very much, big fan. So tell me what's going on with you and your channels and breaking news and anything you may have.
Well, I like to be honest. I apologize. I am a few minutes late, but that's because I had a big scoop, an exclusive story that all the other media is now claiming that they broke as an exclusive. But if you look at the timestamps, I posted it first. Very well placed sources told me first, or maybe they told everybody at the same time, but your boy just was the quickest to get it out there. All
I saw
right.
you on Instagram.
I was the fastest with it. So I broke the news exclusively anywhere that Jennifer Lopez is canceling her summer concert tour, sadly. And I'll talk about that more. And I talk about celebrities every day on my YouTube channel. So you mentioned that. I want to let all of your wonderful viewers know that I do Hot Topics live every weekday on my Perez Hilton YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. So come and join us too. But enough self-promotion. I'm
Oh,
yours
are you
now.
kidding? Are you kidding? No, please. And you're also on Instagram. I follow you everywhere. I'm a big follower. I follow you and your family. By the way, he has this. I love it when you do posting. Like I was almost crying. I'm a mom, right? And my son is gonna be tomorrow, 23 years of age. And I saw when you did when your mom's birthday, I think it was, or it was something on Mother's Day or mom's birthday, and you took her to the nail salon. I was like, oh my God, that is the best gift ever. I was like,
Oh,
oh.
I take her to the nail salon. I take her to get filler. That makes her even happier. My mom loves Botox. Actually, not even Botox. She takes this thing called Dysport, which is like
Uh-huh,
Botox.
uh-huh.
She's 70 and she makes
Fab.
no reservations about getting some enhancements. So Botox, filler, whatever makes mom happy.
Absolutely, I love that. And you're from Cuba, right? You're Cuban or Cuban
Yes.
descent.
I'm from Miami, but both of my parents are Cuban, and Miami is a bit of an interesting phenomenon in the United States where the minority really makes up the majority. And you can go your entire life in Miami, being born there even, and not speaking English. I
I
mean, if you're born there, you have to learn English in school, but still, Spanish is so commonly spoken there. And my family taught me Spanish at home. And actually, I do the same now at my house with my kids. We only speak Spanish here. And
great.
even though English is easier for me, I definitely make the concerted effort to only speak to my children in Spanish because I really want them to have that
Connection.
skill, and also more than a skill, just to have that connection to their heritage.
Absolutely. I love that. It's true. When I came from Norway and I spent a couple of nights in Miami, and I go to the mall in the Dolphin or whatever Dolphin Mall, I think, and I'm talking English, and this lady, I think she's from Venezuela or something. She clearly didn't know what like, and she goes, "Español, just Spanish, please." I'm like, ah. And she works at a mall. I was like really shocked. I was really, really shocked. So
That's
tell
why.
me, Perez, tell me, you have to go subscribe to Perez Hilton everywhere because I follow him. Like I love everything about you. Tell me, how is this thing with J Lo? Why is she can't? We're going to talk about that because a lot of things. I got to tell you, I watched her
I'll have
movie.
the answer for you. The thing
I
with
have.
J Lo is this: people are followers, and people are cheap and
Yeah,
lazy.
yeah.
And what I mean by that is all three things are happening simultaneously with her. And I know this because I'm guilty of this in the past. I've done it myself. I've done the work. I can self reflect. It began on TikTok specifically.
Oh,
J Lo has a lot of haters who were very vocal on TikTok, but maybe it wasn't even that many. A few people made TikTok videos about Jennifer Lopez that were extremely critical, and they went viral. Then everybody else starts making videos about Jennifer Lopez attacking her because they want the views, they want the money. And then slowly it started to permeate not just on TikTok exclusively, but across social media and then seeping out into the real world.
Yeah.
And obviously, she made some decisions this year that didn't help things either. But it makes me sad. Something like her relationship with Ben Affleck, she is being blamed for the state of her marriage. But I have to remind everyone, unless you've forgotten, and I haven't because I'm Perez Hilton, Ben Affleck.
Ahua.
Ben was the one who pursued Jen
That is
after
true.
her split from A-Rod. He took the initiative. He wanted this to happen. It wasn't like she went courting around him. No, this was all on Ben. So I feel for her because she's in her 50s. She is who she is. She's not changing for any man. And
Good.
Ben Affleck was aware of all that he was getting into when he decided to rekindle his romance with Jennifer Lopez. Unfortunately for her, it seems like what's happened is that after they've gotten back together, he was aware of it. He knew what he was signing up for. He just doesn't like it. He strongly isn't about being such a public couple and the media attention that comes with that and all of these other things. And it's like, I understand that. So I'm not saying he's a bad person. I get it. Like for me, I am a food addict. I have a true addiction to food. And when I slip up, when I fall off the wagon, when I revert back to my old ways, when I am dealt a blow in life and something really bad happens and I'm stress eating and I'm stress eating and I'm stress eating and it's been going on for a week now, and I get to a point where I'm like, I'm not even hungry, but I'm still eating. And I can intellectualize that I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, but I still do it anyways. And Ben is also an addict, and perhaps all the attention and scrutiny and everything going on, and not even the marriage, but also the melding of their relationship and professional lives too. They did a Dunkin' Donuts commercial together. He was in her musical film. He was in her documentary. And when those projects were not well received, he also is by product, attached to that. And it's a reflection on him in his mind, I'm thinking. So it's sad, it's unfortunate, but it's not over. Just this week, Ben and Jen were spotted together in Los Angeles. They haven't totally thrown in the towel. They are at least putting a facade on. And now with her tour not happening, maybe that's more time for them to work on things. Or we're going to get an announcement within hours that they're divorcing. It's one or the other.
Yeah. You just touched on something, Perez, because it really bothers me because people are quick to blame all the time. As you said, this is not his first round with Jennifer and, getting in the ring, with her. He knew what she is about. He knew about the public thing. This is like when you're going to a sushi place and you order like a hamburger, and then you get angry because, oh my God, they don't have hamburger. They only have sushi. And then you blame the restaurant because they only had sushi and they don't serve you the hamburger. And then you go on social media and you bitch about, oh my God, they didn't have the hamburger. Then you know what? Ben Affleck is a big boy. He knew what he was getting into. He knew the circus of PR that comes with Jennifer. He knew who she was. He can come and say, oh my God, I didn't know PR.
Especially because when they first got together, that was Bennifer 1.0. And when they first got together, the same thing happened. The media attention was overwhelming, and it did play a part in their calling off their wedding days before. I guess he was hoping, that with time and age and wisdom that they'd have a different a different outcome, but it just seems like a really unfortunate case of deja vu.
Yeah. And do you think that the closeness with Jennifer Garner doesn't help? Because I understand that they
I
can
think it does
compare.
help. I think it's the opposite.
You
For
think it
all
helps?
Yes, because I've heard that Jennifer Garner is advocating
Oh,
for
wow.
Ben to stay with Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Garner is happily in a relationship and she's been with her
Oh,
businessman boyfriend for a few years.
yeah.
She's on lock and happy. She is concerned for the father of her children and his health and thinks that Jennifer Lopez is good for him. So she's encouraging them to try to work things out. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just a recurring theme. Always people not taking responsibility. I think it's time for Ben Affleck to own up to it. And people, I saw the movie Atlas. I gotta tell you, I liked that. I cried in the end. You
And
know,
also,
I
just
like.
just just a few years ago, I don't know if you remember, it just occurred to me. Ben's most recent ex-girlfriend was Cuban actress Ana
And
de Armas.
yeah,
And people say things that are hurtful about Jennifer Lopez, like he always looks miserable when he's with her. He looks like that when he was with Ana de Armas too. Some people have resting bitch face. Ben
yeah,
Affleck has resting miserable face. Like that's
yeah.
just his natural state of being.
And I wanted to ask you something because I know that also I saw Britney Spears. She was in Vegas too, and you're in Vegas, right?
Yes.
What happened? What's happening there, Perez?
Brittany wants to have fun, which is understandable. Brittany wants to be normal, which is understandable. And Brittany's also very unwell, which is what a lot of people don't understand. They know she has mental illness, but they don't know the intricacies of it. Nobody knows her diagnosis. It could be it could be bipolar, it could be, schizophrenia, it could be somebody else told me another possible diagnosis recently. And in addition to mental health, according to reports, TMZ said that Britney's using drugs. So
Yeah.
there's mental illness, there's reported drug abuse, there's trauma that she suffered when she was young. There's also the emotional and mental stunting that happens with a lot of people who achieve extreme fame at a young age. They don't develop a lot as a person emotionally and intellectually, especially because she, especially in a conservatorship for so long, and even before the conservatorship, had everything done for her. She didn't need to learn how to do this or have this skill or whatever. So she's trying to figure it all out now, and according to reports, is not taking medication. She doesn't trust doctors. She has this insane distrust of not just doctors, but also everyone, because she's been betrayed by so many people. So when I list it all that way, hopefully the overreaching theme that we have and the thought is just compassion, empathy for this poor woman that's gone through a lot. Yes, she's accountable for certain things. She's not like Ben Affleck, a totally innocent bystander. But when you understand the totality of it all, it should hopefully, just make you root for her even more. I think that's what people want. Brittany's like a cousin to the world. We've grown up with her. We watched her since she was very young, and we want her to have that happy ending.
Yeah. You're right. The way I see her, because I wonder if because she was so oppressed that now she's gone completely the opposite. It's like when you're like in jail and you don't eat and you get this crappy food all the time. And then when you gorge on everything, and it's like, but at the same time, I worry for her because we don't know what medications they pumped into her. So that also creates an instability, and people should put things into context. Like a situation always has a context attached to it. But for me, my worry is that because she doesn't try. I imagine she has trust issues right now. So I don't think she's like, oh, I'm gonna trust you. And but I'm worried about her mental state and that she does not taking the proper medication because she's going a lot of nudity, which is fine. She's proud of her body, but still, there's gotta be some sort of I don't know, but I do worry about her. And I know she was in Vegas, and I saw you do an Instagram about it, that she was with her brother, I think you said.
And that's, I think, a positive development because she's estranged from everybody else in her family, even her children. And
Yeah.
I think her children are the best path forward. I worry that her brother is an enabler. It
Yeah.
concerns me that he might just be a yes man or a
Mm.
babysitter and isn't going to advocate for her to get better and give her the tough love that she needs. I think her kids are the only ones that can do that. But I get it. It's a big ask of an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old. But I would do anything for my mother, even at 17 years old.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you know how Latinos are, like, and but it's amazing because I think even her kids were mocking her, or some even exposing her, posting videos. If my son had done that to me, Perez, oh my God, Henry couldn't see the light of day the next day, because that is so.
But parental alienation is a real thing. And Kevin Federline, some might argue, brainwashed them. And
That's
they were with him the majority of the time, and with their stepmother also, because K-Fed has had a new wife for a long time and had more children with her. So she, in a way, is maybe even more of a mother to those children than Britney Spears is.
I really do feel like, I really feel bad for her because I don't think she had a childhood. I think this woman has been exploited forever in her life. I read somewhere that her father had like microphones and cameras in her bedroom. Is that true?
No, that's not true. We
Yeah.
learned
Okay, God.
recently. What is true and why people were confused, Brittany thought that she had been recorded in her bedroom, but the conservatorship, from my understanding, did obtain permission from the court to monitor her cell phone and whom she was texting and all of that, because there was a worry while under the conservatorship that Brittany somehow got a connection to drugs and was taking drugs. So they were trying to find out how that may have happened.
That's a nightmare, Perez. I hope for her. You're so positive with her, and with everybody. I still have to hear you badmouth anybody or bitch about people, but, but talking about bitching about people, let's get into the Royals, because I've seen that you've done stuff about the Royals. And I have to have you back if you ever have time, because I want to talk about Diddy and a bunch of things, because you're so connected to everything, Perez. Please go subscribe to his channels. What do you think that's happening? Because we were talking, I was talking to somebody today, and we're thinking that Harry's a royal. From the moment he was, even his mother was pregnant, he was already world famous, so it's not something that he had to seek. Meghan Markle has been hustling her whole life. She's a hustler, like she hustles. Um, but, for example, I was watching what happened in Nigeria. People think it's a triumph. I was a diplomat, and I know that one of the things you follow is protocol. And then we have the first lady of Nigeria going talking against nakedness in her country, and we see Meghan Markle pretty much with her bare back and like slits everywhere. Her chest showing, no slits anywhere. Um, and and the thing with her charity, delinquent charity. I mean, the check is in the mail or something like that for the charity. I mean, why do you think that they can't get? Somebody said to me that they don't listen to the PR advisors, and that's what the main issue is. And Shallon Lester said that when Megan was truly a nobody, she used to have like 3 PR companies, and she ensured that she would get 3 articles out for her. But when she doesn't listen, I mean, it's like, if you have an advisor, people who are experts, and you're not listening, do you think that is really what's happening? Or do you think it's just they're not likable?
I think what's really happening is she is a scapegoat because it's easier for the public to dislike her than it is to dislike him and hold space for the thought or likelihood that he was the one calling the shots or driving the car. He was the one who said, I don't want to do this anymore, not the other way around. I don't think it was Meghan saying to Harry, let's get out of this, let's leave. I think Harry's always wanted to be out of the British royal family in the capacity that he was. He never liked it. He always knew he was going to be the spare. And I respect that because he's a grown man in his 30s, maybe even in his 40 or around there. But by the time when he left, he was in his early 30s when he walked away. And he couldn't just do whatever he wanted. If he wanted to release a statement, he couldn't do that. If he wanted to do this, he couldn't do that. He had to follow protocol. He had to follow the rules. And he's an individual and an adult, and like, he didn't want to have to follow these rules anymore. He just wanted to live his life and do what he wanted. And I get that and I respect that. So it's easier to have sympathy for him because his mother died, because he's the spare, because, or some people might say, oh, he's not very bright.
No, he's not very bright though.
Some people think that. I don't think that.
No, you think he's smart?
I don't know him well enough to say that.
From the public, from what you see publicly, you know, from what's out.
Do I think he's smart? Yes, he's highly educated. He's highly experienced, a veteran. He's by no means dumb, no, and by no means gullible or a pushover. If he didn't want to leave the British royal family, and Meghan did, he would have just divorced her. He wanted to leave.
I don't know. You know, with that, I have to push back on that because he's a guy that actually he wanted to stay half in, half out. And if he were a guy who really didn't want to have anything to do with the royal family, he would have given up those titles and make his own way. I think people would have respected that instead of slagging off the family. Like you said, family, whatever issues you may have with your family, you don't do what you did. You know, you don't go and say the things that you did or lie about it, because many of the things that they've said, I have debunked a lot of stuff that's in the pub that Meghan Markle has said. I've debunked it. You know, I wouldn't have had a problem. And as I've said many times, and I also blame Harry. You know, I hate it when people say, oh, I said, no. Because people, I actually did an interview with a former maid of them. And she says like Meghan Markle slapped him, and you know, she like, and I like, and people were, oh my God, poor guy, no. Whether has the Stockholm syndrome or whatever, but I don't see him as a victim, because if you don't want to, you don't do it, you know. And this is the right, Perez, and people, oh no, you don't understand. I said, I think that both of them don't bring the best in each other, to tell you the truth. I think that probably,
I mean, they're still together. I'm sure they're clearly happy. You know, if they weren't, they wouldn't be together anymore.
Well, there's some couples that still remain, like the Duke of Windsor and the Duchess of Windsor. You know, like the new memoirs of the Butlers. You know, that's come out. That they were. I don't know if you know who they were. The Duke of Windsor.
I don't.
No, you don't. Okay. It's Harry's great uncle, or great grand uncle, and he married this American divorcee. And I mean, he abdicated for her. He was actually the King of England, and he abdicated for this divorcee woman twice.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. Wallace Simpson. That's that story. Yes.
Sorry. Yeah. So, and they were together until they died, but they were really, really miserable. You know, you have marriages of convenience, but you know, the way I look at it, Paris, is like, it's a shame that, because I know that their status in the United States is gone bad. You know, when you have Bill Simmons calling them lazy effing grifters, you know, and then she goes to Limonada instead of, you know, because
I disagree also.
Oh, really?
The thing is that, you know, it's entertainment for people. You hover around like-minded people.
Yeah.
For those that strongly dislike Meghan and Harry, there are probably just as many who strongly like them. It's like a real life soap opera for people. Yeah.
They're very divisive, aren't they?
But so is the British royal family. When Queen Elizabeth died, many people celebrated.
No, I cried my eyes out. But I'm not a royalist. I'm a monarchist. There's a difference. I'm not a fan of a particular royal. I like that. Like, you know, you're a fan of democracy, right? You like the idea of democracy. whether you think that one president or the other one are suck or whatever, but the idea of democracy, that everybody has equal rights and that you can vote, that idea, I'm on board with it. So the same thing with me with the monarchy. I'm not a fan of a royal in particular. But anyways, I don't want to take some of your time. I know you're busy. I want to say thank you for coming here. Go to Instagram. I'm going to post all of his links and the video description below and throughout the video, because Perez Hilton is Perez Hilton. Like, you are legendary, and I'm so honored that you came
Oh,
here. So thank you very much, Perez, for coming here, and thanks for everything you've told me today.
No, it was wonderful. And I love that you have your opinions and you're not afraid to express them. So I will be definitely checking you out more going
Thank you.
forward.
No, no,
So,
no. And this is, we're just showing people how people can have different opinions and
mhm.
still be okay with it. You
Yeah,
know, like,
yeah.
it's like, now you get canceled. Oh, you like J-Lo, like, even people, if you like J-Lo, you're canceled. If you don't like no, I'm serious. I am.
No, I know. Yeah.
So
It's
thank you very much. I know you're, I don't want to, I know you came late, but I want you to say thank you so much. I know you're busy, and I know you're doing your hot tea right now with J-Lo. So thank you so very much, Perez. And thanks for
You're
coming.
welcome.